Hello, Lucy and Conrad and Caleb. Do you remember the exciting developments of the last issue of the Fantastic Four story? I bet you do. How could you forget? The Fantastic Four have lost their powers with the explosion of the Q-bomb at the hands of the Frightful Four. They've returned to New York City, and there they've been attacked by the most powerful enemy of all, Doctor Doom. How can they resist him? Well, they have the help of their ally, Daredevil. But he's a blind man, and yet his senses are so fine-tuned and he's so athletic that he's able to help them and lead them back to the Baxter building where they are going to confront Doctor Doom in their very own headquarters when he has Reed Richards' own fantastic weapons to fight against him. Oh my, I'm so excited to finish this story. I actually stayed late at work so I could record it for you. Let's go. This issue is called The Battle of the Baxter Building, and indeed, what a battle it is between Doctor Doom and his powerful weapons, Daredevil, and the Fantastic Four. But look, the illustration shows that they've regained their powers, but not yet. Let's see how this happens. All right, here's the front cover, The Battle of the Baxter Building. Doctor Doom is portrayed on top of the building, and the foursome, along with their ally, Daredevil, are climbing desperately, trying to reach him and fend him off. Possibly the greatest action drama you will read this year. Yes, I agree. All right, so here we see Doctor Doom has taken control of the Baxter Building, headquarters of the fabulous Fantastic Four. Having lost their superpowers due to a battle with the Frightful Four, Reed and his gallant trio are aided by the sightless Daredevil as they try to launch an almost impossible counterattack against the most dangerous arch-villain of all time. And now we see Doctor Doom looking out the window with this great weapon in his hands. He says, now that I realize that the Fantastic Four are powerless, I can toy with them, pick them off at my leisure. And the supreme irony is the fact that I can use Reed Richards' own weapons against him, so long as I remain in control of their headquarters. Since my own intelligence is the equal of Richards, I have only to look at one of his devices to instantly grasp its purpose and method of operation, such as this remote-controlled TV eye, which I've set to find my victims, no matter how well hidden they may be in a crowd. And so he sends out this TV eye with multiple lenses. And look, it shoots through the crowds, among the blocks, searching, seeking, trying to find the Fantastic Four. An onlooker says, a flying camera coming from the Baxter Building. One fellow says the FF must be testing some new crime-fighting device. But this lady says, it almost hit me. And this fellow is not happy. He says they've no right to scare innocent people this way. But of course, it's not the Fantastic Four that are doing this. Dr. Doom, looking at the monitor, says at the rate the TV eye is traveling, it's only a matter of minutes before it locates the ones I seek. How they must be trembling in helpless fear right now, knowing that their destruction is imminent and that once they are gone, the entire human race shall bear the brunt of my next attack. Well, let's see if we can find out what happens next. Too long have I remained in my remote kingdom of Latveria, unconcerned about the rest of mankind. Now I feel the thrill of battle again, and I shall not stop until the entire world grovels before me. Oops. Ha! The moment is at hand. I have found them. Oh no, where are they? Before the Master of Menace can launch his attack, the sightless Daredevil senses the presence of the TV eye and moves with the speed of thought. Richards, take cover. He's located us. And look, see how Daredevil avoids the TV eye. Reed realizes he's using my flying spotter. Once it zeroes in on a subject, there's no way to outrun it. Then we won't try to outrun it, says Daredevil. He grabs his billy club and look, he opens it up to another attachment. With his fingers moving almost faster than the human eye can follow, the man without fear makes a lightning-like adjustment on his ever-present billy club. The flying object generates so much power that I can sense its exact location as it draws closer. But what will he do? Look, he's turning his billy club into a gun. He says, as long as I know where it is, I can destroy it. Crack! And he shoots off a projectile. He thinks a man with normal vision might miss such a small speeding target, but my radar sense can track it as unerringly as a Hunter missile. Reed says, you'll only have time for one shot. Now. But of course, Reed doesn't have to tell Daredevil now. Daredevil knows when the right time is. He says, this gives us another brief breathing spell. What's our next move, Richards? Richards says, so long as the FF is without superpowers, it's only a matter of time before Doom defeats us. But if I can reach our headquarters, there's one device up there which may turn the tide. I've got to get hold of the electronic stimulator. Do you remember the stimulator? Mr. Fantastic used it on the Skrull planet. Okay, so let's see if he can retrieve it in time. Daredevil says, well then, what are we waiting for? Let's go. I'll act as a decoy once again to keep him occupied while you find your partners and go into your mad scientist bit. See you around, pal. And look at Daredevil. Again, he leaps, he twists and turns and jumps up in the air so that he can access Dr. Doom up at the top of the Baxter building. Mr. Fantastic says, careful, Daredevil. Doom plays for keeps, and his power is indescribable. Be careful, asks Daredevil. You're talking to the wrong boy, mister. If I was the cautious type, I'd be banging back my introduction to you right now. So that's why they call him Daredevil. Look, he's leaped upon a flagpole. Twang! And he uses it to propel him up in the air. Says, well, happy days. And Reed thinks, if we survive this battle, I'll owe that man a debt that can never be repaid. What a good friend Daredevil is, and brave. He says out loud, are you watching, Doomsy? Ready or not, here I come. Daredevil thinks, I hope I'm still alive and kicking if and when they regain their powers, because then the battle between them and Doom will be something to talk about for years. Indeed, I remember that battle, even though I first read this story years ago, decades ago. It's a great story that I'm about to read to you, so just hang on and I'll keep going. All right. As Daredevil taunts the menacing Dr. Doom from the nearby rooftops, a commandeered taxi speeds up to the desperately running Reed Richards. Sue leans out the window. She says, Reed, darling, thank heavens you're still unharmed, but where's Daredevil? Reed answers, I'll explain later, Sue. Open the door, quick. And so he jumps into the taxi with Sue and Johnny. After giving Sue and Johnny a quick briefing, he says, this is it. Give her the gun, Johnny. We've got to reach the stimulator. Sue says, "It seems so hopeless. Even with our powers, Dr. Doom was almost unbeatable, but now." Johnny says, "Knock it off, sis. That kind of talk we can do without. I wonder where old Ben disappeared to." Seconds later, the police, now aware of the titanic battle which is about to begin, take their posts and go about their business with grim, courageous precision. One policeman says, "Clear the streets. Get those pedestrians out of here. Hurry with those barricades." One policeman says, "Why won't the chief let us tackle Doom?" The other policeman says, "It's orders from the Pentagon. The FF get first crack at him." Well, if I were police, I'd stay back and let the Fantastic Four go after him. Another policeman says, "Give us the word to go in with you, Richards." Reed says, "Not yet. Only if we don't make it." And then finally, this policeman over here says, "Get those cars out of here. Take your positions. Man your guns." Do you see he's holding kind of a loudspeaker device to amplify his words? And so it begins. The three enter the Baxter building. Reed says, "Easy. Doom is probably watching our every move with one of our automatic scanners." Johnny says, "Phew, talk about hopeless odds." No sooner does the glass lobby door close behind the valiant trio when a blinding bolt of electrical force heralds the attack of Dr. Doom. Boom! Sue says, "Reed, he found your electric headquarters defense apparatus." Johnny says, "Ooh, I can't see. The bolt is too dazzling." Reed says, "Don't stand still. Keep moving. It's the only way to dodge the automatic blast, which will come next." Look at all those electric bolts shooting out from everywhere. Reed says, "Head for the elevator, Johnny. Take a zigzag route. I'll try to keep Sue out of harm's way." "But Reed," says Sue, "I'll slow you down. You'll be hit because of me." Reed says, "Maybe not. Don't forget, I arranged the sequence of the blasts, if I can just remember them." "Not there, Johnny," warns Reed. "Sidestep to your left. Now, that's it. Another inch would have trapped you." Johnny realizes that even with Sis in his arms, dodging for his own life, he's able to save me. There's never been a guy like Reed before. Well, that's why they call him Mr. Fantastic. Meanwhile, 35 stories above, we find that Daredevil has climbed all that way. Dr. Doom says, "I admire their resourcefulness. Considering how powerless they are, it makes my victory all the more enjoyable to me." So here comes Daredevil sneaking in through the window. He's just ahead of me, he thinks, if I can take him by surprise. Pressing a secret stud on his ubiquitous billy club, Daredevil releases a length of nylon cable, shaking it towards the fearsome arch-villain, only to hear, "I knew you were there, but I decided to give you enough rope." Ha ha! So not only is he powerful, he's punny at the same time, dishing out punishment to his opponents. Daredevil thinks he's as dangerous as they say and as supremely, frighteningly confident. Doom says, "See how easily I can dodge your clumsy attempt to ensnare me?" Daredevil thinks if I can just keep him at bay for the next few minutes to give the FF the time they need. Doom says, "You dodge quickly. Your reflexes are the fastest I have ever seen, but it will take more than lightning-fast reflexes to save you from the attack of Dr. Doom." And Doom, with his strength, picks up a machine and tosses it at Daredevil, but Daredevil manages to avoid it with his nylon cable, which is already outstretched. With those words, the master of villainy reaches for Reed Richards' miniature keyboard control panel. "Now, courageous one," he says, "we shall see how much good your reflexes do against another of Mr. Fantastic's prototype inventions." It is certain that he never expected this actual scale model of a rocket ship to be used as a weapon in his own headquarters. Whoosh! Here comes the miniature rocket ship, and Daredevil thinks, now I've got to dodge a miniature rocket ship. This superhero business isn't always what it's cracked up to be. Well, it is quite dangerous. I might be able to keep one jump ahead of it for a few seconds, but one thing's for sure, my favorite crime fighter is going to get tired a lot faster than that deadly ship. Look how fast it swoops around and attacks Daredevil. How can he dodge it? Dr. Doom is wondering the same thing. He thinks it's incredible. He follows the path of the ship even faster than I can. Then he says out loud, that scale model also uses liquid fuel. Let's see how you defend yourself against a rocket fire blast. Click. He pushes another button. And at that second, Dr. Doom almost stumbles on Daredevil's most closely guarded secret. He thinks nobody can see a deadly object darting at such great speed. He employs more than mere vision, far, far more. But what? And of course we know it's his radar sense that was given to him when he lost his sight by being struck by a radioactive canister. The radioactivity increased his other senses. But look how he's using them. He dodges and falls backwards to avoid the flame that is shooting out of that rocket ship. Meanwhile, in the lobby below, Daredevil's valiant efforts are paying off in precious time gained for the FF. Here comes Ben. He says, hey, wait for me. We're a foursome, remember? Sue reaches back. Ben, we wondered where you were. Reed says, you're just in time, big fella. Quick, into the elevator while we can. Johnny realizes we'll be sitting ducks in here, but I guess we've got to chance it. So they board the elevator and head up to the 35th floor. Ben says, I was trying to get a hold of that robot you built for me, Reed, but I couldn't find the blame thing. Sue says, none of us have any defenses now. But Reed realizes no defense could long protect us against Dr. Doom. Our only hope is to reach the stimulator. Johnny says he's probably watching us right now, laughing, waiting to strike. Why doesn't he do something? The suspense is unbearable, but we know why he doesn't do anything. He's being kept busy by Daredevil. And Reed realizes this. He says, easy, Sue dear, we have one ace in the hole. There's a chance that Daredevil may be distracting him at this moment. Just another few feet and we'll be there. Maybe we'll make it. Ben says, attaboy, kid. Let's look on the bright side, just like old times. But even as they speak, the FF's warning alarm is already ringing in the headquarters lab. Clang, 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 clang. And Dr. Doom realizes it's from the elevator. They're on the way up. And Daredevil thinks to himself, this is the crucial moment. I mustn't fail them now. Dr. Doom says, at the press of a button, I can destroy the entire car and everyone in it. But here comes Daredevil reaching out. He says, not if I can help it. Back, you costume clod, says Dr. Doom. You weary my patience. You are more than a petty annoyance to me. They are my main objective. Not even your uncanny reflexes can protect you from a sudden blast of concentrated, pressurized air. And so he pushes another button, and here comes a blast of air that blows Daredevil out of the way. Daredevil thinks Nothing seems to faze him. I'm being thrown back like a rag doll. And then Doom continues, and this time no one can dodge my deadly little rocket, not if I press the destruct button and cause it to explode like shrapnel. So it explodes, and here comes many thousands of metal pieces, any of which could pierce Daredevil and cut him and harm him. But he thinks, don't fail me now, little Billy Club, or it's bye-bye Daredevil. What's he going to do with the Billy Club now? Look at what he does! With one lightning swift motion, the sightless sensation whisks his lone weapon in front of his face, simultaneously pressing a hidden stud. Just in time, he thinks. I had a hunch this telescoping flexi shield would come in handy one day. So look, he opens up a shield on his billy club. Clang! All the pieces of shrapnel are scattered, and Daredevil is protected. Directly below the scene of carnage, in the elevator, Sue realizes the entire car is starting to shake. Reed says, Doom, press the emergency defense button. We've got exactly 2 seconds to get out. Quick, Ben, we'll slam into the door together. I hear you talking, chum. And even though Ben is no longer the Thing, he's still a pretty strong fella. Remember, he used to play football. Ben says, it's a heck of a note when the Thing needs somebody's help to get out of one measly door. Whoomp! But they manage to do it, don't they? And Reed says, keep moving. This is no joke. Hurry. We made it, Reed says. Another split second and we'd have still been in that flaming car. Look as it turns into fire and falls 35 feet below. Now let's go again. The faster we move, the less vulnerable we are. Ben says, lucky we got as far as the 34th floor. Now there's only one flight to go. Johnny says, lucky? Sheesh. We're only a few feet away from facing the most dangerous menace of all time, without our superpowers, without one single weapon. If that's luck, you can have it, pal. Reed says, steady, all of you. There's no turning back now. Oh no, they're on the stairs, but look what's happened. Reed says, stay behind me. Whatever happens, I'll take it first. And look out. The stairway explodes, and Johnny realizes he found your stairway attack button. We're in for it now. Sue hollers out, Reed! Doom says, I'll let them get still closer. Let them think they have a chance. Ah, the exquisite triumph of this moment is beyond description. But here comes Daredevil. He thinks he's turned away from me again. And he shouts, release that machine, Doom! And he lunges for Doom and managed to catch him off guard. Doom says, you dare attack me physically? You dare lay a hand on me? Daredevil says, why not? I even walk in the rain without my booty sometimes. That's why they call me Daredevil. So he dares to attack Doom personally. But that's very dangerous because Doom is not only a scientist, he's very strong. Daredevil, bah, he says, see how easily I break your grip with my steel-shod fingers. I'm done toying with you now. You shall learn what it means to incur the wrath of Dr. Doom. And he grasps Daredevil by his hands, and you can see Daredevil is wincing in pain. Daredevil says, where do you dig up that dialogue of yours? In cornflakes boxes? So Daredevil is implying that Dr. Doom is corny. And Dr. Doom says, I trust you enjoyed that witticism, for it is the last you shall ever utter. Daredevil says, He's not kidding. It's like being held by a bulldozer. But once again, the Fantastic Four make use of every precious second's reprieve. Reed says, he's just ahead. I can hear him. Ben says, I don't know whether to be sorry or glad. Sue says, what will you do when we reach him? And Johnny says, we'll think of something, it says here. What will they do? Now they run into the room and Ben says, there he is. Let me tackle him first. Johnny says, don't try it alone, Ben. Wait for me. Dr. Doom realizes they're here. Apparently I have tarried with you too long. And Daredevil thinks, I'm blacking out. The pain so intense. And Ben strikes out at him. Let go of him, you creep. Let's see how good you are against... Ow! So Ben forgot. He doesn't have his tough rock-like skin anymore. He struck the armor of Dr. Doom and it hurt his hand. Doom says, you thought a mere flesh and blood fist could affect the armor-plated Dr. Doom? Daredevil is feeling his hands. My hands, they're completely numb. With one casual sweep of his steel-shod arm, the cloaked menace hurls Johnny Storm from him without a backwards glance, and then he strikes at Ben. Oh, says Ben. Doom says, who are you, buffoon? Where is Reed Richards and the accursed thing? Well, as the editor says, never having seen Ben Grimm, Dr. Doom is not aware that he himself was once the mighty thing. So Dr. Doom is striking out at the thing, but of course he's without his great powers. But look, here's Reed. He's thinking it was torture for me to leave them to face Doom alone, but it served its purpose. I found the stimulator. It helped to defeat the Skrulls not long ago. I pray it will serve us as well now. Look at that great weapon, and let's see if it will do the trick. He runs into the room. He says, I've already turned it on myself. Now I've just time to play it over you, Sue. And Doom looks up. Richards, so there you are. And look, Richards is using the stimulator beam on Sue. She says, Reed, you found it. And so Doom tosses Ben into the air. But Mr. Fantastic says, easy, Ben. I'll be able to carry the attack to Doom for us now. Ben says, Reed, you're Mr. Fantastic again. Wow-wee. And Johnny says, it's about time, Rubberhead. And there's Daredevil off to the side nursing his wounds. He says the numbness is passing, but it'll still be minutes before I can help them. Although if they regain their powers, it's Doom who will need the help. Doom says, blast it, I thought you were helpless. What trick is this? What trick indeed? Now, Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Girl have their powers again. It will only be a matter of time before the others are powered as well. And then all four will attack Dr. Doom. What will happen then? What's going to happen in the rest of the Battle of the Baxter Building? Well, we'll have to wait until next time to find out. I can hardly wait. I hope you're enjoying the story so far, and remember, there's more adventure to come. All right, until then, love y'all a bunch. Bye-bye.